Hello and welcome to a time special presentation for Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore real-world lessons from the classic Tamil text Thirukkural with motivational speaker, author and diversity champion Bharathi Baskar as she explores the masterpiece. You ever wondered why the Japanese are implicitly obedient and follow the rules, while several in India have no qualms about breaking them? Is it a rebellious spirit, the rush of power, or just a cultural quirk? Let's explore these questions by looking at expert opinions, real life anecdotes, and finally, with what the Kural tells us.
At a point of time, I was making frequent official trips to Mumbai. I often took the Friday 8:30 p.m. Jet Airways flight to fly me back to Chennai. On a particular Friday, when the flight was about to take off, smoke was noticed around the engine and the captain announced evacuation. The next thing I saw was absolute pandemonium. No one could hear the captain's commands in the noise that erupted. The cabin crew was helpless as passengers ignored every instruction and jumped to open the overhead cabins. It took a good 1 hour to vacate everyone. We were lucky as there was smoke but no fire. Cut to scene 2. On the 2nd of January this year, at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, a Japan Airlines flight turned into a fireball after it collided with a Coast Guard plane. All the 367 passengers and 12 crew members were safely evacuated in 18 minutes. The unshakable composure displayed by the flight attendants, combined with the high level of cooperation of the passengers, prevented a major disaster. Critically, none appeared to have passed to retrieved hand luggages from the overhead lockers, ensuring a clear route to emergency exits. So, why do the Japanese obey the rules always and Indians often don't? While flying, Indians pay little attention to evacuation instructions, said a pilot friend. This cavalier attitude is why we grab the overhead bins despite being told expressly to wait for the seatbelt sign to go off. I have seen passengers talking on their handphones even after the flight takes off, despite clear instructions to keep the phone in airplane mode. We are constantly in a Hobbesian environment, which is characterized by the war of every man against every man. We deface monuments by carving our names. We drive without putting on a seat belt. We use cell phone while driving and disrespect all the limits: speed, drinking, decibel level of horns. Why are we always in such a hurry to get to a place, even at the risk of killing ourselves? While driving, I find myself being honked to move at red lights. Why? And why do people honk at 0.001 seconds after the green light? Why do share autos stop abruptly at the middle of the road? Why do careless mothers with no helmets take 3 or 4 children with their huge bags on a small bikes to school? Is this a cultural paradox? We have a rich culture that eulogizes honesty and sacrifice, but we love to defy rules, disobey authority, bribe if caught red-handed, and we are careless about every safety decree, even if we know it can harm people. Rule breaking is a great leveler. Rich and poor, mighty and vulnerable, people in power and people who owed them to power, all defy rules. What is behind our poor civic sense? Some experts argue that rule following is not taught at home or school during childhood. Other experts see the appetite to defy rules as rampant in competitive societies dominated by discrimination. A third sect blames this behavior on the conflicts between hierarchy and conformity. Psychologists have also found that rule breaking makes people feel powerful. You break the rules, you feel macho. The concept of obedience in Japan is as ancient as its people. Confucian ideals shaped Japanese society. Prince Shotoku of the 6th century believed to have formed the ideals of modern Japanese culture. He emphasized unyielding obedience. Japanese schools teach pupils to stand in queues as the first lesson. It is interesting to note that our ancient literatures too emphasize the value of adhering to rules. But we have somehow lost this value along our arduous journey to democracy. Thiruvalluvar says, Serivarindhu seermai payakkum, Arivarindhu Aatrin adangap perin. Self-control is knowledge, and knowledge leads to discipline. A disciplined society is most distinguished. Just as I write this, another piece of news is in my inbox. Sahil Kataria, 28, a passenger on a flight, punched the pilot while the pilot announced a delay in takeoff at Delhi airport due to fog. Sahil was on a honeymoon trip to Goa with his newly married wife. What an adventurous way to start the marital bliss.